What's up, everyone? This is the Fraser LeVay podcast, and today we have a crazy special guest, captain of the Phoenix Rising, JP Scearce. Phoenix, born and bred, Phoenix area, played high school soccer there, and he's got, I think, the coolest American sports story is like Cam Ward and JP are right there. He's like the American Jamie Vardy, which I think Jamie Vardy is like one of one in terms of the craziest sports story of starting from the bottom to the top. But JP is right there, and I've always loved his story. I'm friends with his sister. It's something I've watched and I've like shared on my own business profile, my soccer stuff. Like, how come he doesn't get more accolades, which we'll get into later because we wanted to talk a little bit more World Cup. But I'm so happy to have you. I was nervous, to be honest. I've always wanted JP on, but he's taller than me. He's younger than me. He's better looking. He's a better soccer player. So it was just like, I don't know. I didn't want to put that like my face next to his face and just all this stuff. So, but you're here and I'm happy we can talk some soccer because perfect timing with the World Cup final just ending yesterday.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, looking forward to the conversation, talk about the World Cup and also a little bit about myself and my story. So
Yeah,
great
man.
intro.
I saw it. I was like, this guy's a freak of nature. Jesus Christ. So I guess, we could talk the final, but it wasn't really a ton of stuff going on. Like it was, I couldn't believe, I assume you watched the game, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
It was like the 80th minute where they showed the stat that said it was 15 shots to 0. I was like, wait, what? Like I had some drinks. And I didn't even notice that they were just kind of shit kicking them that bad. But
Yeah, I mean, Spain pretty much outclassed them. I think so for myself, I think I always said Spain would win, but
mm-hmm,
at the start of the World Cup, they tie against Cape Verde, one of the
mm-hmm,
surprises of the World Cup, and I think people started doubting them. And I think Spain just peaked at the right moment. That game against France could say was the World Cup final, and
mm-hmm.
like I said, they peaked at the right moment and they showed their class against Argentina. It was pretty much one sided, honestly.
Yeah, and so in my preview of the World Cup podcast, I said my bet I always do is Spain, because they're like always 5-1 for the Euros, 5-1 for the World Cup, and so it's like you have 5 chances basically to get your money back. And I'm sure they're
Yeah,
going to win one of those, and they'll probably win two or maybe three. And so I said bet your big money there, and then like a little bit of money on say Portugal because they're 12-1, and then like Netherlands was 25-1, so you could put a little bit more money there, but.
hmm
So I followed my own thought and I put like 250, 5-1, 6-1 on Spain. And then that first game
nice.
happened and it was a little shaky. Oh, you'd think it was nice. And then the first game happened. They looked a little shaky. And for some reason, I just loved Brazil because they finally had like some leaders on the team, like some, older Casemiro, and you got Gabriel in the back and Marquinhos. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take a little bit. I'm taking that out. I'm going to put a little bit into Brazil instead and a little bit more into Portugal. So I was an idiot and I took out all the money into this.
No.
Yeah. But I won this pool of like 100 people where you just bet every game and the points
Okay.
accumulate. So I won that one. So it was the same
Okay.
amount of money ish, but I was like, I literally told anyone who listened to do this thing with Spain and I did it and then threw it all away. So yeah.
Honestly, probably the best time to bet on Spain was after that first game because
Yeah.
odds probably went even higher.
I should have doubled down, but
Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't believe. And then in the final, Enzo Martinez, it was like, there's a meme. It's like, hey, you're on a yellow, mate. Like, don't do anything stupid. And then Enzo just cleans the kid out to get red carded. I
Yeah,
was
I
like,
mean the
oh my
craziest thing
God.
was his reaction saying he didn't even touch him. The
Yeah.
guy did a whole front flip.
So I had this for later, but this is perfect timing then. I don't understand players. Like maybe I'm just old now because I used to complain a lot. Now I, don't really. But it's like complaining, especially in the VAR era. Like people are just at refs, like at the VAR table, and I'm just like, I've in 100 years of soccer, we've never seen a ref change his mind ever, and I just don't
Yeah.
understand these pro athletes still like, I didn't touch him, I didn't do this. Jay, no, don't make this call. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you surrounding the ref? He's never changed his mind. Like you have instant replay. Get out of here. Like, it blows my mind.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with VAR. I mean, you literally can't get away with anything. Like any
No.
little like elbow or something that the camera's
Yeah.
watching you, so it's very hard to get away with it. When there's not VAR involved, like in our league, it's I think when in moments like that, like the Enzo Fernandez
Mhm.
challenge, or any little moment where you could put pressure on the ref and force him to make a decision, then it does benefit the team sometimes.
Mhm.
Probably not very sportsmanlike, but it's a big factor of the game, to put pressure on
Yeah.
the ref, and yeah. But with VAR, I mean, yeah, it's difficult to change his decision when he's gonna go to the
Yeah.
monitor and watch watch everything you did.
Exactly. I'm just like, you're not, yeah, he's not going to change his mind. You literally can see it. It's just like you said, like with
Yeah.
Enzo. Um, or with, I think, well, let me ask you this. What was your favorite? Because it's also this subject for me. So, but what was your favorite moment? Did you have a favorite moment or a player or a thing that happened in the World Cup? You might have lots, but
Of the whole tournament,
yeah,
favorite moment.
I'll
Hmm.
give you mine if you
I
want while you
mean,
think on it.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Right, it was the same kind of subject we're talking about. But Embolo getting the second yellow for simulation and red carded, I think was like exactly what soccer needed because I have so many like football friends and basketball friends and hockey friends and talking sports all the time. They always hate on soccer for flopping and this and that. And I
Yeah.
think nothing more soccer needed than like one person to say like just flat out get kicked out because of doing that and flopping. And so I really enjoyed that. I feel bad for Mbolo, but I mean I don't because he's an idiot. So and like you
Yeah.
said, we can see it on the replay that you clearly didn't get touched.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was one of the good rules they added to the
Mm-hmm.
tournament. I wasn't able to, well, I watched the first half of that game, but then I had a game.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't watch the second half. I couldn't watch that moment, but I
Yeah.
saw like highlights and stuff on social media. But for myself, favorite moment, I think Mexico's win against Ecuador. Um,
Okay.
One of my favorite moments, probably because in the last, I don't know how many years, Mexico hasn't won a game in a knockout stage. And
Mm-hmm.
there's always talk about the curse, about the fifth game and stuff. And it was a bit different this tournament because there was more teams. So it went to a round of 32 instead of straight to the round of 16. So they
Mm-hmm.
still haven't made it to that quarterfinal stage, which a lot of people are still waiting on. But I think the win against Ecuador was very significant for us Mexican supporters, and yeah. But I can't really think of any other moment that
Mm.
kind of stands out.
And this is a weird question. So I have like a ton of black friends, so I always have like black culture questions and good conversations. But I feel like I have a lot of Mexican friends, but not like super close or Mexican
Okay.
Americans. So like, do you guys do you support Mexico over the USA? And typically, is that like not for you to speak for every Hispanic person in the USA, but is that typically like how it is?
For myself, yes. And I think for a majority of us Mexican Americans, um, I think the majority do support Mexico. But
Mm-hmm.
I do know people who also have Mexican roots, but they support the U.S. national team. But for myself, I grew up. Um, I was born in the U.S. and I grew up on in the U.S. But I was born like, or I grew up right on the border town called
Mm-hmm.
Nogales,
Nogales.
between the U.S. Mexico border.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I would always go across the line and spend a lot of time there. I have family over there, so I don't know. I always watching the Mexican national team was always a big thing for myself and for my family. So. Um, I've always supported them since I was young, which is why I still support them now and will support them over the U.S. Even though like I support the U.S. as well. Like in
Yeah.
this World Cup, I was rooting for them as well because I was born here and all that.
Yeah.
So I have to support them as well.
um, yeah. So also the passion. I mean, just Americans like living abroad a little bit and just seeing soccer culture, even just anyone who travels, you just see like the true passion that obviously Mexico has and Spain
Yeah,
and even Costa Rica's bad. But living in Costa Rica, like their passion, it's like let's say my son does grow up to be some great soccer player or something. It's like I thought about it. Do I want to play for Team Canada, where they don't even give a shit aside from like the World Cup, and then when we don't lose, they're like, oh, we don't care about the World Cup, or sorry, we don't care about soccer, which the USA is a little
Yeah.
bit like that. And it's like I'd much rather them be like where they care about it and like, or not live or die, but it's a lot more passionate fan base and excited about the game itself.
Yeah, but I think that's why the World Cup being hosted by US, Mexico, and Canada is important because
Mm-hmm.
you want the sport to grow. I mean, it's been growing. It's the main sport in Mexico. It's been growing here in the US and in Canada. With how they performed, I think they had a very good World Cup. I think it's only going to help the sport. Help the sport grow in Canada, and they have a good generation of players where I think most of them are playing in Europe. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully the local league in Canada, the CPL, also grows a lot after this tournament. So yeah, I don't know. Uh, I think if I was your son, and obviously he's still young, he probably
Yeah.
not old enough to remember this World Cup, but if he was a bit older, he'd probably be inspired to maybe play for Canada after their performance.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you feel about the US performance? I've got my own thoughts.
I think they started out very well and then
Mm-hmm.
just kind of dipped after. I think that Turkey game kind of maybe they lost some confidence there. Obviously they beat Bosnia, but yeah, against Belgium they didn't even show up. I think it was a pretty bad performance, and maybe the whole situation with Balogun, maybe that kind of
Mm-hmm.
had an effect to the team and put a lot more pressure because after that decision, I think a lot of people wanted the U.S. to lose. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that kind of put a lot more pressure on them. But
Yeah. The okay.
overall, I think I don't know. I think there's more expectation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Ballo thing was crazy because like I think they're the underdogs going in and the feel good story, and like the USA, I feel like in soccer and in a lot of sports, the thing that I love about Americans is like we can do anything and we're passionate and we're all a team together and we'll fight harder than anyone else and blah blah blah. But then with that Ballo thing, all of a sudden like the karma flipped to the exact opposite way, where like
Exactly.
now they're the hated and just negativity, and
Yeah.
it was such a. And I was telling my friends, they're like, "This is great. Like, this happened with Ronaldo, like leading up because he got his red card rescinded. So like, it's not the first time it's happened." And I'm like, "Yeah, but Ronaldo got it in a mean nothing friendly. Like, it's a little bit different than like
Yeah.
in the World Cup. It's such a bad precedent to start. Like, what if Messi got a red card in the semi? Can he just, you know what, we need him for the final?" So people were supporting it. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's gonna backfire, and of course
Yeah.
it did.
It did, and it wasn't. It's not a good look for the U.S. like the country itself. So
Mm.
and FIFA.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm like, unfortunately, I'm not a Pulisic hater, but it's gonna sound like a Pulisic hater. I'm a Pulisic realist. I just never
Yes, yeah.
thought he was that great. Like I think he's an amazing player if he's like on a championship team or maybe in Serie A or like a low level, like hanging in the balance Premier League team. But it's like he scores against Jamaica and he scores against Paraguay, and but he's never scored in like big like with Chelsea or even like when he was with Dortmund. What's the name? The English guy that took his position, who uh, the English wonder kid who turned out not to be a wonder kid.
Uh,
Sancho, Jaden Sancho took his position.
Sancho. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then like he went to Chelsea and he had one good game against Liverpool. And, like I watched every single Chelsea game he played in, and he's never a factor. So I mean, I feel bad because obviously he's an incredible soccer player, but I just think as people had this high expectation of him, and it was like expectation versus reality. I've never actually seen him do it at a. I think the Serie A is a bit of a retirement league ish. It used to be great. Now it's not really next to the top other couple leagues and out there. But yeah, so I definitely bet against Pulisic when I can.
I think injuries have definitely gone
Mm-hmm.
against him. Like they've definitely affected him because when he's at his best, he's I think he's the best American player.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I mean he's played for all these big teams. He's won a Champions League, so like you
Hmm.
say, there's a lot of expectation from him, and I think injuries have just kind of hit him hard recently. Because even last season, like the year prior, I think 24, 25, he was one of the best players in Italy. Even
Mm.
though a lot of people consider Italy to be a retirement league, maybe not
Yeah.
as competitive, it's still one of the top five leagues. So
Hmm.
for me, I think it's the injuries that have kind of affected him and his performances and maybe his confidence a bit. Which I think he kind of gained that at the start of this World Cup, and but then
Hmm.
again he had that calf injury, and obviously in the final game against Belgium you get subbed out. Like you don't want your best player
Yeah.
to get subbed out, and all because of an injury. So I think that's what's affected him the most, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel bad. He's definitely always catches the injury bug, which Canada's the same
Yeah,
way. We're just like the US. Whenever I saw the US's team on paper, I'm like, oh my God, they're always like just Canada versus the USA and even Mexico. Like I would take
yeah,
the USA on paper over all of us, and then they never actually play together. Like the one is always
yeah,
hurt. Like Gio was incredible for a while, and then he kind of just fell off between injuries and
yeah,
whatever else, and their top three or four players seem to always kind of be hurt. But how do you feel about Mexico? I've just read a lot about it, and also Chicharito had a good point about it. But like, I don't know if the word I'm looking for is like the professional teams in Mexico kind of hold not hostage, but like they hold the players to their contracts, and it kind of ruins their chances to go overseas. Like Gilberto Mora, he should be playing somewhere in Spain, but he's kind of held to his contract in Tijuana. It
yeah,
feels like Mexico's shooting themselves in the foot. And then I think they have a pretty nationalistic professional league, right? Like you can only have so many non-Mexicans in on your team, so it's like,
yeah. International players.
yeah, you couldn't even do, let's say, an MLS where you bringing in some better competition to make the Mexican league even higher, kind of thing. So, yeah, it just seems like they're almost going the opposite way of the way you want to go to in terms of getting your players the most exposure. So, I think Mora is the most talented North American player by far. Like watching him, like,
Yeah,
oh my god, he's a class above everyone else.
yeah. He's definitely a promising talent. I think he's gonna be one of the way he's playing right now, and
Hmm.
from what I've seen, he could potentially be like one of the greatest Mexican players
Yeah.
to have ever played. Um, I think he will for sure go to Europe. I think I read recently. I I don't know how old he is exactly, but they're probably waiting
Mm.
until he's maybe 18 or closer to 18, so he could go straight to Europe.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, you talk about kind of the way Mexican players just get held back by their clubs, and I think recently Eric Lira, he was one of the star midfielders for Mexico's World Cup squad, and he had a very good tournament. And there's a lot of interest from several European teams, and I think there's a clause in his contract where I think a buyout clause that's worth like 20 million. Um, and I think Monterrey offered to pay that to Cruz Azul, which is where he's at now.
Hmm.
And I think that's the issue where I think they overvalue their players to the extent where a team from Europe isn't going to pay 20 million for a 25, 26 year old Mexican midfielder, you know.
Hmm.
So I think that's part of the problem, and a team from Mexico is willing to pay for that. So of course they're gonna sell him to a rival team in Mexico. Um, I think that's one of the biggest problems, and a lot of recently there's a lot of players who do have the opportunity to go to Europe to play. Rather just stay in Mexico because they're comfortable and they're making good money, probably more than what they would make in Europe. So that's also a factor. A lot of it comes down to money in the
Yeah.
grand scheme of things.
No, absolutely. Which I guess isn't too far removed from the U.S. Anyways. It's always money, just
Yeah,
money, and that's what
yeah,
it is. Um, I was trying to think some other teams to kind of talk through. I guess because I'm Canadian and talk Canada, I kind of said it in my preview World Cup, where it's just injuries are just killing us. I don't think Mexico, the USA, or Canada, which I've been saying forever is on the same level. I think they're all kind of a tier two below this, the top 5, 6 teams.
Hmm.
If you played 100 times, I think the USA and Mexico, Canada could obviously nick a few games against Spain, or 20 games, but I mean, one game, it's going to be tough to kind of beat those top dogs. They're just such a class above all of us in CONCACAF. But yeah, Canada is exciting, but it was hard to get too excited just knowing that our best players injured. Our
Yeah.
three of our best 5 and like 7 of our best 9 were just back from injuries or like
Yeah.
not fully fit. And I'm just like, I was so excited for this World Cup, and then instantly I just kind of saw the writing on the wall, and we put up a good fight. But it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's,
I think Canada had a good World
mm-hmm,
Cup. Obviously, didn't end the way they wanted to. What they lost to Morocco, correct? Like
mm-hmm.
3-0.
Yeah, and it was close until the end. Then Morocco just put in goals at the
Yeah,
end. And
yeah, I remember watching that game. It was
yeah,
pretty close. Then it just got open after the first goal.
yeah,
But yeah, obviously without Fonzie, without their best player,
mm-hmm.
I think Bombito, he wasn't fully fit. I think
No,
he was one of the most. Obviously, you want Fonzie to play, but
mm-hmm.
Bombito not being fully fit was a big factor for them.
Yeah,
But honestly, I think, like I said, they had a good World Cup, and had those two been fully fit, you never know. They could have
yeah,
gone even further.
yeah, definitely. I definitely liked it. I didn't know Morocco was like, I knew Morocco was good because obviously they did really well last World Cup, but I didn't think they would be this consistently good. But they're just an epic team. Like they're an
No,
actual
they're good.
top
They're very
8
good.
team in the world. You wouldn't think
Yeah.
that.
No, they're very good.
Uh,
I'm not I don't really watch AFCON too much, like the African Cup of Nations, but
mm-hmm,
I think the last AFCON, in the final against Senegal,
mm-hmm.
crazy game, but yeah, Morocco is very good. They're
Yeah,
probably one of my dark horses going into this World Cup.
yeah. Um, Then I think obviously feel good story. Norway is just Holland. That goal, he's like a shark. Like obviously we all watch Holland forever, but a lot of people new to soccer kind of got to watch him a little bit more in the World Cup. But that goal against Brazil, where he's just walking for 15 seconds and the camera was on him, and then he just like snapped like that. It was like
Yeah,
frightening. And all of a sudden he just Gabriel's a big dude. Like he's like a sturdy, one of the best defenders in the world, and Holland just made him look like an infant. Headed, game over. It's just insane.
yeah,
That guy.
he's a freak. He's a freak.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, he's not the best football player technically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he just knows when and where to be in the box, like always at
Mm-hmm.
the right place at the right time, and just there to score tap-ins basically. Even
Yeah,
though the his second goal against Brazil wasn't a tap-in, it was a good goal from outside the box. But
yeah.
he's a freak, honestly.
He's I'm trying to get this damn light to work. But yeah, just watching him, especially at City, he's got such a great setup with, I guess Pep's not there anymore, but he's got the best players in the world around him, the best system around him. It's just
Exactly.
outrageous.
Yeah, he's got the service. He's got some of the best players in the world, like you said, and they'll find him. They'll find him. It'll be interesting to see how they do without Pep now. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and obviously like De Bruyne left, so it's obviously nice when you have De Bruyne setting the table for you, one of the best
yeah,
passers in the game.
exactly.
So he's gone last year, so the team didn't look as great. Um, Who else do we got? Oh, Brazil. I think I kind of alluded to it. I bet on them. I was so excited for them. They kind of let me down. But I mean, they played a good game and they just came up short. It wasn't like it was anyone's fault. Just Holland had one moment of greatness and the second second moment of greatness, and it was over.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people were saying Brazil would go far because there wasn't much expectation out of them. Obviously, they haven't
Mm-hmm.
been the same Brazil as before. You think of like 2002, '06, 2010,
Mm-hmm.
like when they have the best players in the world. And for this tournament, I don't think there's much expectation out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And with Carlo Ancelotti, I think a lot of people thought they'd go far, but I think there's a reason why there wasn't much expectation
Mm-hmm.
from them, because it's not the same Brazil as before. So
Yeah.
um, I wasn't shocked that they lost to Norway, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't shocked.
Yeah, and I was on them because I just felt like they finally had they've had good defenders in the past, like, but in the past 10, 15 years, not as much. And I just really like that they had two studs and center backs, and then obviously Casemiro holding it down. So I finally thought they had some adults in the room versus, normally they've got 17 incredible wingers, like some of the best in the world, but
Yeah.
not so much everywhere else. But yeah, it just didn't come together. Portugal was my biggest letdown of the whole World Cup. Just I couldn't believe Ronaldo. Was it Martinez the coach?
Yeah, Roberto
Yeah,
Martinez. Yeah.
who I love, but I couldn't believe that he started Ronaldo. I thought Ronaldo would be like 20 minutes per game, super sub, come on, be the hero. I'm sure multiple times, like fresh legs, and he barely even touched the ball and like had any dribbles completed. And I'm just like, that was my biggest
Yeah.
letdown because I was excited
I
for
mean,
Portugal.
yeah, he was in a tough position. The coach was, because
Hmm.
if you start Ronaldo, it's a problem, and if you leave him on the bench, it's a problem because
Yeah,
people are going to be asking how can you not start Ronaldo? But he's just he's just not the same. Like you
no.
could see it. The age has caught up to him, and he's not the
Hmm.
same, obviously, as he was. And I think that's the biggest difference when you look at Argentina and you see
Hmm.
how every single player in the squad on the field, they all play for Messi. And it's not the
Hmm.
same with Ronaldo. Even though they might say, or they obviously they want to win for him, but it's just not the same.
Hmm.
And
No.
I think that's one of the biggest differences between those two teams. And with Portugal, I think if there's a bit more of that, obviously Ronaldo, like, they have amazing players without him as well.
Hmm.
But I think that if they had a bit more of that, what Argentina has, like the sentiment towards Messi, maybe they could have done a bit better.
Hmm.
But I'm with you where, honestly, I think they shouldn't have started him, or
Hmm.
maybe have him play the first half and sub him out like early in the second half, because I think he was holding them back too much, to be honest.
Yeah, like even Bruno, who I love, is like he was one of the best players in the EPL last year, and for years, obviously. And yeah, he was just kind of non-existent because it felt like they were just trying to maybe
Yeah,
play through Ronaldo versus, they had such a good team of just great players across the board and just nothing. Ronaldo's kind of a black hole and like no energy, no chasing stuff down. And I would have thought, I mean, I guess he should have the biggest ego in the world, which is totally fine. He's allowed to have that. But I would have thought at age 41, it'd be like, hey, like, I know it's not my time. I'm playing. He went to like, where is he playing? Not Qatar, but he's playing in like
it's Saudi.
Saudi Arabia. Yeah. And
Yeah,
like, you kind of know that you retired ish. Like, I thought you'd be like, give me 20, 25 minutes a game. I'm going to come on and I'm going to win two games for us and be the hero. I would have thought that would
yeah.
have been the way he personally would have chose to go at it. But I guess people
No,
like,
he has to be
yeah,
the main guy. I mean, you
yeah,
saw. I don't know if you watched the game against Croatia. When he got
hmm,
subbed off, his reaction
yeah,
to that, it was just like,
uh,
how are you pulling me out of this game? And I think
yeah,
that's him in a nutshell.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad because obviously I like Ronaldo. He's one of the goats, but just like these people who would argue Messi versus Ronaldo, I didn't have a dog in the fight, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like Messi is just his own stratosphere, but now it kind of at least got
Yeah,
cemented. Now we know for sure. There's no more
yeah.
argument.
I grew up a Ronaldo fanboy.
Mm,
As much as it hurts me
yeah.
to see, like, how he's playing now, and
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, if you know football,
Hmm.
if you played the game, you know Messi's just something else.
Yeah, exactly. That one, like the comeback game, like whatever his age is, Messi, like 40, 41 or whatever it is, and like goes to the right, beats two 25-year-olds down the line, and then puts the ball over like another 27-year-old's head in between two defenders. And I was like, oh my God, that's
On his weak
so,
foot.
yeah, on his weak foot. It's just so
Yeah,
ridiculous. Uh,
it's
but
crazy.
yeah, I got some other winners and losers. I want to also, I thought about this way too late when I made my bets. like, because I think sports is always, a draw. It's absolute cinema. It's always the storylines and what is this? How no one, including myself, said the storyline is like, because everyone knew the Messi and Yamal story, like the bath and all that kind of thing. Everyone knew that story for years. How we never thought the final of them passing the torch to each other would happen is just beyond me, and how I never bet that, and this never popped in my head was stupid of me. So, but
It's
what a
crazy.
cool story. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane.
It's like it's destiny, like it was meant to be.
Yeah. Um, and what else do I have for us? I was going to talk about Trump, but it's not political. I had him as a loser, not a political at all. Anyone out there, don't get offended. But I love that he was on the stage and like he was getting like shoot off the stage for the trophy lift. I'm like, speaking of him
Well,
and Ronaldo, the
yeah.
egos of the world.
I don't know if you remember last year, it was the Club World Cup
Hmm.
here in America when Chelsea won. And he did the same exact thing. I mean, this time at least he was like a little bit on the side, but you could still see
Yeah.
him. But last year, when Chelsea was about to lift the trophy, he was like in the middle of the group as they're lifting it.
Yeah.
It, it was just it was annoying to watch. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Between like that and then him bombing one of the teams in the World Cup, that was like a unique thing. And
Yeah,
then the Balogun debacle, I was like, I had Trump down as a non-political, just a loser of the World Cup, total
yeah.
loser. The which also thinking about Trump. Did you see last World Cup when the what's the guy who does like the salt off his arm was in the
Oh
Argentina?
yeah, Salbe.
Yeah. Oh my God, Salt Bay. Like that was probably the most. I've watched that video more and more, and it's like so uncomfortable to watch
Yeah,
him.
like he's just trying to grab the trophy, and that's one of the things. Like you can't touch the trophy unless you've won it or you're like
Yeah.
a political figure. And this guy, I don't know. He thinks he has the right to touch the trophy.
Oh, and he also looks like such a weirdo. So
Yeah,
this is like anyone who hasn't seen it, Google Salt Bay Argentina World Cup because he's on the field and like taking pictures, like little kissy faces, and just it's insane what he's doing with the World
yeah,
Cup, like on the
very
field.
cringy.
Yeah. Uh, so Trump wasn't as bad, but that was great there. One thing I want to touch on, another like thing that bothers me was goalies. This must bother you because you win everything in the air. Goalies get way too much protection, and I don't know why this continues to happen. Like you go straight up, and a goalie can punch you in the head, and it's fine. But like if you bump into him, even if you're straight up, call like all the time.
Yeah,
It's my least favorite thing I think in all of soccer is how goalies you just can't be anywhere near them, but they can absolutely clean you out, punch you in the head, do whatever they want. It's fine.
yeah.
And
I mean, especially for myself as someone who likes to go up, challenge for headers and on
hmm.
off corner kicks. Maybe I bump into the goalkeeper
Yeah.
trying to head the ball, and yeah, like you say, they fall down so easily, and they always get the call, which is annoying.
It's so annoying. That needs to
I
get
think
fixed. Like, yeah, I don't know how they haven't fixed it.
I think it happened in what was it? I think it was Germany against Paraguay. Germany scored off a corner, and they
Yeah.
called a foul against the
Hmm.
or they called a foul on the Paraguay goalkeeper because he got a little bump.
Yeah.
Um, very soft, but
It was so
that's the
bad.
thing. They, like you say, they get too much
Yeah.
protection.
Yeah. And then it was the France semifinal with Spain. So the Spain keeper on top of like same idea but a different method. So the what's his name? Unai Simeon.
Unai Simon.
Unai Simon. Simon. Thank you. Was like doing the thing of like wasting time, like not picking up the ball, not picking up the ball, and like just kind of trying to waste time. And then Mbappe went to get the ball. It's a World Cup semifinal. Of course,
Ah,
he's
yeah,
gonna go hard.
I remember.
And
Yeah,
then he
yeah.
like barely touched him, and Mbappe gets a yellow card. And I'm like, if a guy's gonna do that, goalie or not, like you should be able to get hit. Like you're gonna be an idiot if you get to get hit. Like it's just
Yeah,
ridiculous. So
yeah. I
kind of
remember
bothered
watching
me.
that one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's all I really had on the World Cup. I mean, there's other fun little things, but we kind of touched most of it. So we can kind of get in, if unless you had any other World Cup thoughts, we can get into your story I wanted to tell everyone about.
No, yeah. I think it was a good World Cup. Very, very exciting. A lot of exciting moments, and yeah, I think it's gonna be like one of the more memorable ones.
Yeah, I'm glad I actually mentioned that because the knockout round, every single game aside from maybe two or three was like some sort of wild comeback finish, and it was outrageous. Every game it felt like for a week straight was just comeback, epic, last minute
Yeah,
goals. It was insane.
yeah. Even the third place match, like
Yeah,
as a neutral fan, probably one of the more exciting games.
yeah, it's so crazy. Like
Yeah,
I always forget, like Dembele was the Ballon d'Or winner,
yeah,
and like he's not the best forward on the team, and it's like everyone's like Mbappe, and you watch Mbappe, and then all he has to do is switch the ball, and you've got just another psychopath coming at you full speed.
yeah,
Who's so
literally,
good, can finish pretty much just as well, and then you've got like Olise, who's unreal with the ball, like at his feet,
yeah.
and what a team.
They should be
Um,
disappointed not to have won. To be honest, I
yeah,
thought I said before the tournament started, I said Spain would win, but after the
mhm,
first few games, watching France,
yeah.
I thought they would win it easily. But
Yeah, it's so funny. Like Argentina, I think does this well, and France, where they're just murderers. Like some people play with their food and like screw around. Where I just feel like France and some other teams are just like, no, like we're gonna kill you no matter what. Like I'm sure
yeah,
every athlete on earth is guilty of kind of playing down to your competition and screwing around. Where like Mbappe or Dembele are just like, no, like I want to score as many goals and beat you 18-0.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
But yeah, all right. Well, let's get in JP. Like I said, everyone, he's the American Jamie Vardy. The story I just love. I wish it was talked about more. And we can get into like not to make it. I don't want it to be sound corny to people, but I kind of wanted to like advice for kids in high school, which I'll get at some questions for that of like what to do. But I'll try and give a bit of the story. But you obviously tell it better than I do. But you started out, you won a state championship, right, in club?
Yeah, I won a couple. I won a
Okay.
couple. I yeah. So like I said earlier, I grew up in Nogales,
Hmm.
which is probably like 2.5, 3 hours from Phoenix. When I started playing soccer when I was 4 years old. Um, I think my parents signed me up in AYSO, which was like a local recreational
Hmm.
league. And then I guess I was pretty good from a young age, and my parents noticed that, and they decided to sign me up to play with the older kids, and eventually from there went to started playing for a club team in Tucson.
Hmm.
Um, and my first year with that club team, I think it was when I was 11 or 12. I was playing U13s. Um, that was the first year I won a state championship. And then from there, when I was starting high school, my dad got a job out here in Phoenix, so we had to move and relocate over here, move to Scottsdale, and went to Chaparral High School in Scottsdale and played for CCV Stars, and they were out in Peoria. Um, Played club there, and I won. I think I won one state championship there and lost like a couple state finals.
Hmm.
Um,
And you're the
and
captain of
so
your club team, right? CCV.
yes, yes, I was a captain of the team and my high school team as well. High school, I didn't really enjoy high school soccer that much, to be honest, because I don't know, it wasn't as competitive, and
Hmm.
yeah, I just didn't enjoy it that much. I think my senior year we made it to playoffs. Had a deep run, didn't make it to the state championship, but yeah, from there, I think my senior year I was committed to the Air Force Academy. Um, and from then I had a few schools, a few offers like approach me, and some JUCO and some Division II smaller schools. And um, when I was approached by the Air Force Academy, they're a Division I school, and I went on my visit and committed. And yeah, I was looking forward to going there and playing soccer there, playing Division I at a high level. And um, one thing about me, so I have a very severe peanut allergy, and
Oh,
with the Air Force Academy, it's a very long application process, and they take all your information, medical history, all sorts of things. And in the application I put I had a peanut allergy.
Yeah.
And so a month before I was supposed to go, I think early July, I was supposed to go for like I think it was like basic training, like a 6-week boot camp,
Mm.
basically. Um and so in June, I get an email saying that I'm no longer able to attend the Air Force Academy because of my peanut allergy, and I'm medically disqualified.
That's
and
insane.
and this is a month before I'm supposed to go there. And
Oh,
of course I get this letter in the mail, and I read it, and I'm like freaking out,
yeah.
and I'm like scrambling, seeing what what I could do.
Yeah.
um I think because when my parents discovered this allergy, I was like an infant. I was very young,
Hmm.
so I kind of reached out to the Air Force Academy, to the coaches there, and told them like, this is this is something that my parents found out when I was a baby. So I
Mm.
don't think I might not be as allergic anymore.
Yeah.
Um, and so they responded saying like, okay, go take an allergy test, and if it comes back negative, then you could still attend. You could still come and attend the university, whatever, or the Air Force
Yeah.
Academy. And so I went, I got tested, and I think they injected like tiny bit of whatever of peanuts in my arm, and
Hmm.
my arm is like about to explode. Like it just gets all swollen up, and there I'm like, damn, like I have. I guess I'm not playing soccer there anymore, or I'm not attending there. So, like I said, I'm scrambling. I'm at the point where either I just go to ASU and study and go to school and focus on a different career,
Hmm.
or like I mentioned, I was reached out by a few like smaller schools and um junior college, Yavapai College out in Prescott, Arizona. They're probably one of the first schools to approach me. And me being very ignorant and thinking I'm too good for that, I
Hmm.
had said no to them. And obviously because I want to play at the Division 1 level. But after all this, here I am begging for a spot, a roster
Yeah.
spot from them. My club coach from CCV is talking to the Yavapai College coach, basically explaining the whole situation. And like I said, I'm basically begging for a spot on the roster.
Hmm.
And I have a call with the head coach there. His name's Mike Pantaleone. Um, he's like a legendary junior college coach. I mean, he's just very well known in the whole
Hmm.
college soccer spectrum. Um, I'm having a conversation with him and basically explaining the whole situation that happened, and he was pretty nice about everything, and offered me pretty the last spot on the roster. And this is like a week before they start preseason. And yeah, I was very thankful for him. And he said that they have no scholarship money left, so that first semester I'm paying everything out of pocket. And obviously he already recruited pretty much the whole team, so I'm going in
Hmm.
there not even guaranteed a spot in the lineup or anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, so a week later, honestly, it's thinking about it thinking about it now, it's like a blur to me. But I think the whole application process was done in like 2 days, and I had to move up there in like a week to start preseason. And yeah, Um, I get there, and pretty much from the start, it took a few days to sort of get like earn my spot, earn my place. And after the
Hmm.
first couple games, I I think I did. I won my place in the team in the starting lineup, and from there it just kicked on. Um, I played 2 years there at Yavapai. My second year, we made it to the national tournament. Um, and yeah, we played it. We hosted the national tournament, so it was played in Prescott. And pretty much the best JUCO teams in
Mm-hmm.
around the country come, and it's like an NCAA style tournament. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's like a not even NCAA like March Madness type. It's more like a small World Cup where there's like
Mm-hmm.
maybe like 12 teams and uh four groups of three teams, and yeah, we made it to the national semifinal. And unfortunately lost there, but there's a lot of Division 1 coaches that come and recruit
Mm-hmm.
players out of there, and I think I had 5 different offers to play Division 1 from there, and one of them was Cornell, and um, they're very interested in me. Went on my visit over there probably at the worst time because if you don't know, Cornell's in upstate New York, and uh the time I went to visit, it was in January, like middle of the winter, and the specific weekend I went to visit, there was like a massive snowstorm, and I'd never experienced that. Come living in Arizona my whole life, like it's a
Yeah.
desert here, it very rarely snows. um so I went up there, miserable weather. Just didn't even meet the players. Just met the head coach and the assistant coach.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, after a day talking to them and them showing me around, like I don't know, it just felt like the right place for me compared to the other schools I went to visit. And yeah, obviously Cornell being an Ivy League as well played a big factor into my decision. Coming where I come from, not a lot of people get those opportunities to study at a prestigious university
Mm-hmm.
like an Ivy League school. So I think for my future, it was definitely like an important um, decision to make. And I thought it was the best school to go to, not only for soccer but for my future as well, and like academics and all that. So I
Yeah,
went
and
to
for people who
Cornell.
don't know what is, because I saw that you obviously, on top of being a great soccer player and handsome, you're also an Ivy League graduate. You've got it all. Thankfully, you're married, or else you'd be in like big trouble out there.
Yeah.
So like, what can, for people who don't know, like, what is kind of an Ivy League? That's obviously Yale and everything else, and Princeton. Like, what does that? What's, if you could dumb it down for people? What does an Ivy League school kind of mean more than just like a regular school? Because it's
Well,
very prestigious.
they're probably academically probably one of the best schools in the entire world, not just the country. Just very
Hmm.
well known for its academics, and
Yeah.
um all like you a lot of people, I don't know, in politics, a lot of very important people in the world have attended an Ivy League, or not that
Hmm.
that matters, but
Yeah. No, but
just
still,
just a very
it matters. Don't
prestigious.
be humble. It
It's
fucking matters.
no, but they're just like a very prestigious
Yeah.
institutions, and yeah, academics is massive there. Honestly, when
Hmm.
I went to Cornell, like I haven't really told many people, but I felt like a bit of like imposter syndrome,
Yeah, I can
just
imagine.
like just in school, because it's insane the people you meet there, and
Hmm.
like the classes there, just for me it was very difficult. Maybe for
Hmm.
other people that I met there, it wasn't as difficult, but I had a very difficult time uh
Yeah.
going to school there and all that stuff. But
Well, I'm sure like a lot of
um
people too go from like private schools to Ivy League schools, not from like a public school in Scottsdale. Like, I'm sure that's the level of education you're getting at a public school in Arizona versus what a lot of these Ivy League kids probably get private school. It's
yeah,
significant teacher differences, and obviously a
yeah.
different level.
And I was coming from a junior college in
Yeah.
Arizona, where I mean, I did well in school there. I had good
Hmm.
grades, but the classes there were, I don't want to say they were a joke, but
Yeah.
there
I know
a
what you
lot of
mean.
them were online courses, and it was very easy to pass
Hmm.
those classes, I'll say. And
Yeah.
then I go to Cornell, and you have these big what do you call it?
Auditoriums.
Yeah, like just a lot of students in each course, and
Hmm.
it's just a very different how do you say it? Very different to what I was used to.
Mhm.
at Yavapai, and even in high school. Like I don't know. It was a big shock for me.
Yeah.
I did get acclimated a bit, but I did struggle. But um, for myself, like I was very focused on soccer as well because
Mhm.
since a young age, I've wanted to play professional soccer, wanted to become
Mhm.
a professional soccer player, and even when I was at Cornell, like that was still one of my biggest focuses is having 2 good years there and hopefully getting drafted or signing a professional contract after that. So yeah,
Mhm.
going to Cornell, aside from the academics, like soccer went pretty well there. When I went on my visit, one of the conversations that I had with the coach was he saw me like as a player, like an immediate impact player, and potentially being a captain of the team. And like he wasn't lying. When I got there, we started preseason, and you do your fitness tests, and you start playing, and the coaches try to see you how you hold up with the rest of the guys. And I would say I stood out in those
Mhm.
first 2 weeks, and he pretty much gave me the armband. Like I got his trust, and I had a pretty good season that first year. And that second year, going into Cornell was even better. Personally, even though we didn't really make playoffs or anything, but on a personal level, I had a pretty good season with in terms of like goals and assists and stuff like that, and got all of like the accolades of all conference and all region, whatever.
Mhm.
And from there, kind of, I did, I was on the MLS draft list. So
Mhm.
I had the potential of getting drafted. And there was like, I remember my coach telling me there was some interest from a few teams, but um, when it came to draft day, like, didn't hear my name. But even before that, I gotten a couple invites from New Mexico United, which they play in the USL Championship, and I had a call from Union Omaha to come out for preseason. The New Mexico United one, it was like a invite only trial, and they basically had a combine with a bunch of college players that they invited to come try out for the team. It
Mhm.
was probably like around 30 players, right after the season ended and the college season. Um, right after that ended, and I went to that. Nothing came out of it, and then after that, the Union Omaha coach had invited me out to preseason to come trial for the team, and yeah, I went to Omaha for a couple weeks, and it was February of 2020.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was 2020. Um, Trained with the team for 2 weeks, and it at the time Omaha was like a brand new team in the league.
Mhm.
When I got there, they had like 13 signed players, and they had like maybe 10 or 15 players trying out. And after each day, you see like a less and less of the trial list. And so as the 2 weeks are going, like you kind of get a scope of what the coach is thinking. And after the 2 weeks, basically had a meeting with them, and that we were supposed to go to a preseason tournament to play against. I think it was at RSL, and we were going to play against some other professional teams that were going there. And so right before we went to that tournament, I had a meeting with him and said he liked what he saw, and offered me a contract. And so I signed with Omaha. Um, Starting that 2020 season, there's a lot of like expectation and stuff. And then COVID hits, just pretty much
Mhm.
changes everything that we had going for us. I mean, not just for us, but for the whole world. Obviously
Yeah.
had to shut down. So that was an interesting time spent, uh, an entire pretty much an entire year alone in lockdown in Omaha, Nebraska. Um, and at the time, I think, yeah, it was like June or July. I got appendicitis. which was another interesting thing. I was out there all alone and have this happen, and um, yeah, that was a very interesting time in my life. But yeah, as my time in Omaha goes, that first year kind of struggled. I don't want to say struggled with minutes, but um,
Mhm.
just wasn't a starter. Would come
Mhm.
on. I think the whole appendicitis thing kind of set me back a little bit because I think I missed like maybe 2 or 3 weeks when we were supposed to start the season again.
Well, also
Um,
a question I had for you too, which to the you play such a important role. Like you're kind of like a an 8 to 10. You're a box to box midfielder, most important position on the field. And I guess I had a question for you. Like it must be so hard to break into a team because it's not like you're a winger or like a left back who it's like, okay, 65th minute, let's put him on. And like your position, you either have to be the guy or you never get a minute unless there's like an injury or whatever kind of thing. So normally the person in that role is like really good and the captain or like the leader and been around. So I can imagine how hard it is for you to like you've consistently just like I'm the guy now and I'm the captain. It's incredible to see what you've done.
yeah, I definitely everywhere I've gone, I've had to earn my place, and
Hmm.
like that first year in Omaha, because that was my first year professional, and first year as a professional, and pretty much the guy I was competing with was older, more experienced, probably
Hmm.
played for 5 or 6 years as a pro, and I I saw myself. Uh, I don't want to talk bad about the guy, but
You
I
can say you're better than
I
him. It's fine.
I thought I was better,
Yeah.
and I thought I
Yeah.
deserved to start, but
Hmm.
every coach has their opinion, and a lot of coaches just go for the guy with the most experience,
Hmm.
regardless of who's better or not. They just
Yeah.
go with the whole experience thing, which was a frustrating part of that season. But towards the end, from the middle to the end of the season, I had won my spot on the team,
Hmm.
and I was a starter. And from that point to my last game in Omaha, I was like the first name on the starting list on the team
Hmm.
sheet. Um, and um, eventually my final year was named captain of the team, and yeah, Omaha, like I had a very very good time in Omaha. I got a lot of good experience playing there, and uh, yeah, had a good few years in terms of like goals and assists and stuff like that. And after my third year, after the 2023 season, I was out of contract in Omaha, and uh, yeah, I was searching for a new team. And when you're gonna be a free agent at the end of the season, you could start like talking to new teams or to other teams like 6 months before the season ends. I think that's
Hmm.
what the rule is. And uh, at that time, I was talking to Phoenix and North Carolina. Um, and obviously, like for me, like it was a no brainer when Phoenix was
Hmm.
involved. Like it's all
Yeah.
like the team I want to go to. Like I want to play there. I want to go home, play in front of my family, my friends, and all that stuff. So fast forward to today, I've been a Phoenix Rising player since 2024, and yeah, I've earned, had to earn my place here as well. That first season was very difficult. Probably as a professional, probably the most difficult season I've had.
Hmm.
Just because uh, I wasn't like not even that I wasn't a starter. I wasn't even making the roster at certain games and not even traveling. Um, it was very difficult, and some stuff off the field as well. Like my grandmother had passed away, who I was very close to. My whole family, we were very close to her, and she lives
Hmm.
with us. And it was a very difficult year. And the team, we made playoffs, but we didn't do as well as we should have. Um, and so come last season, They pretty much changed the whole roster, changed the whole coaching staff, brought in a new coach, brought in new players. Fortunately, I was still under contract, and this new coach. Well, I had an option for last year.
Mm-hmm.
I had an option in my contract where the team decided to pick it up, and the new coach coming in uh, wanted me back as one of the players, and I think only what was it, maybe like 4 or 5 players stayed from my first season.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a clean slate coming into last year's season, and uh, obviously you start fresh with a new coach coming in, and a new opportunity to earn your place. And he obviously brings in some players that he knows that he wants on the team. So there's some competition there as well. And at the start, it was pretty difficult because, like I said, he brought in his own players that he's coached in the past and people he
Mm-hmm.
knows he could trust and stuff like that. And um, wasn't getting many minutes the first couple games, and then I think everything for me changed. We played at El Paso away, and I think we were down 3-0 in the first half. Like they scored 3 goals or very early on in the game. Um, and come halftime, coach does his halftime speech. He was not happy. He was very upset. And we go out for the second half, and El Paso scores another goal. So we're down 4-0. We get one back, and it's like the 60th minute, and coach is making changes. And uh, I don't know. Thinking back to it, like he's making changes, but I don't know. It kind of seemed like the whole team had given up by this point because we're down
Mm-hmm.
4-1. Not much time left. I mean, 30 minutes is a long time, but down by three
Mm-hmm.
goals, not a lot of time left. And
Yeah.
yeah, I come into the game and completely changes the whole game, and we end up tying 4-4. We
Nice.
could have even won the game, and since that game, I think I like got a lot of respect from a lot of people around
Mm-hmm.
the team and from the coach, which is the most important thing because he's the one who chooses the starting lineup. Um, and from that point on, became a starter. Um, and eventually, later in the season, he gave me the armband as well. Uh, not that he named me the captain, but like for a few games, he gave me the captain's armband, and I got his trust. And this year, yeah, captain of the team, and
Yeah.
I pretty much started every single game this season. So it's been a crazy, just talking about my story right now. It's been crazy, everything I've gone through, and all the
Yeah.
like adversity I've had to face just to get to where I am now. Very crazy.
Yeah. Especially at your position, like I was saying earlier, like it'd be one thing if you're a left back or a winger and you can get subbed in for get minutes. Like for you to get in the team at your position, it has to be so hard because, like you said, the guy in Omaha, like he's always going to start, and you really have to murder him out of the spot to get there. So, and you just
Yeah.
continue and be the captain everywhere. It's insane. It's so cool.
Yeah. It's been a ride.
Yeah.
Um, but now
Well.
now I still consider myself a midfielder, but now I've
Mhm.
been playing a lot of center back due to
Yeah.
we've been hit with a lot of injuries this season, and I've had to fill in that as a center back. And
Mhm.
um, I've had experience playing back there. Like as a player, I think it's important to be versatile and
Mhm.
have the ability to play multiple positions. So
Yeah. But
I'm a
yeah,
center
even
back
then,
for
like
now.
yeah, even then, like a center back is still like there, and like center mids never get subbed out, and so wherever you are, you kind of have to somehow unseat someone, which is crazy. You keep on doing it. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's next? I have no idea how. Like, could you're under contract, but like, could you go to the third division in England hypothetically just for trials, just for fun one summer, or fourth division, or a second, or the championship? Like, could you ever just try it, and see what happens, or is that like something people never do? They just stay in like the American USL and
It's
MLS.
it's it's definitely possible. Um, for myself, so my agent has some good connections in overseas and in England as
Mm-hmm.
well. I know he has some connections in League One, I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
with one of the club owners over there. So it could be a possibility. I've never really thought about it,
Mm-hmm.
or looked into it, but I think if I wanted to, yeah, I could definitely go on trial somewhere over there.
Yeah, because like you watch like the Jamie Vardy story, or you watch like just any kind of documentary, and you see these guys who are just, you know, your level or less, and just starting out, and they get the trust, and you've done this so many times. It's like I feel like you could just go to second division, first division, to the championship, and be like, hey, you know what, I'm here and I'm taking over now. It'd just be
Yeah,
to continue to kind of add to your story, and you're the perfect English type of player. Obviously, like you're strong and powerful and play smart, and I would assume you'd fit right in that perfect English mold, or really any country, but I'm just using England as an example. But as you continue, you still have a good age on you, and the worst thing, like you said, just go for trials, and it doesn't work out. But
yeah,
you've
yeah,
done so much so far. It seems like it's possible.
yeah. I've always, I'm pretty ambitious. I've always
Mm-hmm.
been very ambitious, and as a professional footballer, I want to play at the highest level possible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely something I've thought about, but never really, how do I say it? Never really like attempted to go for it. Um, but yeah, I don't know. For me, recently, I think my biggest ambition is to jump up to the MLS. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because with the U.S. Open Cup, I've played against MLS teams, and every year we play an MLS team. Even in preseason, we play against MLS teams, and
Mm-hmm.
I could see myself at that level. Um, but yeah, overseas, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to have a conversation with my agent, see what
Yeah,
possibilities are there.
maybe so, because I like, if it was a second division or third division, like I feel like you could just start in whatever that is, and you'll just like Jamie Vardy. Yeah, so all of a sudden I see you 3 years
Yeah.
later, and it's like, oh well, he's in the championship, and he might be getting promoted to the Premier League.
Yeah.
Uh, but no, that's awesome, and yeah, it'll be cool to see what you kind of do next. And it's also crazy. I don't want to throw other Phoenix or Arizona players under the bus, but like your story. So I'm not going to name any names, but like your story and just your resilience. Obviously, you have this chip on your shoulder where you're pushing yourself and pushing yourself. And there's so many people your age that are heralded Arizona soccer players who went to XYZ MLS team and played at this academy. And now it's like 7, 8, 9 years later, 6 years later, whatever. It's like, oh, well, he's the only one who's like, he's now the captain, and he's arguably the best Arizona soccer player out of his age range, and within 3 or 4 years, and just from perseverance and going a unique way versus I'm in the Salt Lake Academy and I'm going to play for Salt Lake. It's just
Yeah.
crazy all the stuff you've done.
Yeah. Yeah. It is crazy because, um, like growing up playing club soccer here, and obviously there's kids playing at higher levels,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I don't know. It's crazy to think about uh, certain kids who at that time were at a higher level,
Mm-hmm.
and now like I don't know how to put this into words, but at this level, like I'm like playing against them, and
Mm-hmm.
they've played national team, they've played.
Yeah.
Some of them have gotten the opportunity to play MLS, and now like I'm either playing against them or playing um
Mm-hmm.
in a league above them. I don't know. I don't know if that
Yeah.
makes sense, but that's
Yeah.
a
No, I was
thought that
kind of,
I've had.
yeah, I was kind of saying that, like kind of putting words in your mouth. Like it's awesome to see that you're also the captain of the team, and like at a higher level than all these
Yeah.
guys who had more
Yeah.
accolades at your same age range growing up. And I'm sure it's just, you've had to dig and claw and fight through it and go through so much stuff, and you're like the great story versus just the kid who always was supposed to be good and kind of got not
Yeah.
necessarily a silver spoon, but you kind of had to come from the concrete more or less.
Yeah.
um that's cool. Who's like the best player you've ever played against or with? Has there been anyone where like, oh my god, like this is insane? or is there
Played
just a guy that
with or
you
against?
like? I know there's a guy I played with. Like I played not at your level, but like a shitty pro level. But I remember there was, I don't know, someone you're like, oh my god, that how is that guy not playing somewhere? Like it's just outrageous talent to just for some reason didn't work out, or maybe there is a pro that you've played against or with. But
For me, someone who's like stands out right off the top of my head. His name's Emmanuel Reynoso. So
mm-hmm,
I played him when he was against, or what I played against him when he was with Minnesota United. Um, we played him. I played him a couple times in preseason, and then in Open Cup we played him as well. And he's from Argentina. He's played for Boca Juniors and top teams. I think he's in Mexico right now.
mm-hmm,
Um, but yeah, he was like an insane talent, just super clean on the ball, very like a natural 10 from
mm-hmm,
Argentina. Just very, very good player.
yeah,
Also played against Ricky Puig and Marco Royce. We played him 2 years ago when Royce first joined LA Galaxy.
mm-hmm,
No, but I I don't know how I forgot about this guy. Probably the best player I played against. And he's a World Cup winner, Olivier Giroud.
oh,
I
nice,
forgot I forgot about that I even played
yeah,
against him. But that was last year. We played him in preseason. It was
mm-hmm,
him. They had him. They had Hugo Lloris. They had Denis Bouanga, who's
mm-hmm,
been a very good player for LAFC.
mm-hmm,
But probably in terms of like the most famous player, like the best player who's probably played at the highest level, yeah,
mm-hmm.
has to be Giroud, and he scored an insane goal against us,
Do
like
you like
a
see these
typical
guys?
Giroud goal.
Yeah. Do you see them and you obviously we know who they are, but you're like, oh wow, they really are like 7 tiers above most people on this field. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, once you're on there, like on the field against them,
mm,
like you see, there's levels to this game,
yeah,
and they make it look so simple. Even
uh,
even this year, Timo Werner.
mhm.
I played against him in the Open
Okay,
Cup. He was with San Jose, and yeah, he was very good.
yeah. He was supposed to be like the next wonder kid too, like with Chelsea and stuff, and then he never really
Yeah.
fully went into that. But Chelsea ruined another another great player.
Nah, but he was good. And like I said,
Yeah,
like you play against these guys and they just make it look so easy. And there's
yeah,
really levels to this game. It's
and he's
crazy.
so fast too. Timo
Yeah,
is like one of the fastest white humans on earth.
yeah.
Um, Well, a couple more questions. I don't want to keep you too long, but do you have like a favorite moment? Maybe it was that 4-4 game, but like something that gives you chills, your favorite playing moment?
I would say there's a few. Um, uh, my second year in Omaha in 2021, we won. Uh, we won the league. That final was probably one of my favorite moments, just because my first professional trophy, and not a lot of professional players even make it to a final or even win a trophy in their career.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty important. Um, that next year in 2022, we made a deep run into the Open Cup. We made it all the way to the quarterfinals, and we beat two MLS teams on the way,
Mm-hmm.
which was very special. And honestly, that quarterfinal game, we played Sporting Kansas City, um, at in Kansas City, and we got smacked. It was like 6-0, but just that game alone, it was a sold out crowd, like 20 something thousand people, and
Mm-hmm.
my family and my now wife, they were in the stadium watching me play, and yeah, it was a special moment for me and for them as well, like just playing in that environment and playing in the game, like in an atmosphere where I aspire to be at. So
Mm-hmm.
even though the result didn't go our way, it was a very special moment, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I would say those two are probably my favorite moments, I would say.
Yeah. Is the Zlatan goal at Ajax the greatest goal of all time? And are you familiar with the one I'm talking about? Because I think it is.
The one where he's dribbling.
Yeah.
where he like beats the whole team.
Exactly. It's some guys twice.
The greatest goal of all time. I don't
I
know
would
if
love
it's
to.
the greatest goal of all time. Is
Mm.
it's definitely
Up there.
maybe top 10. I don't
Yeah.
know what would be the greatest goal of all time.
Mm. Just think on it, but I because this one, the highlights have been coming up like during the World Cup, and anytime I rewatch it, like over and over and over. And I mean, everyone likes Zlatan, but I don't like really care either way about him. And his quote was like, "I went left, then he did two, and I went right, then he did two, and I went left again, and then he went and got a hot dog or whatever."
Yeah.
Like, so funny.
Yeah.
um,
I guess funny.
yeah. Well, I guess a couple last things. Like, what would you tell kind of kids? Like, we already did through your story of like just perseverance. Like, what would you tell high school kids or 12, 13 year olds? I guess it's hard to not like eat your vitamins. Like, are you really healthy with your meals? Like, are you on a real kind of strict regimen? Do you work out all the time? Like, what kind of has helped put you over the top?
Yeah. I mean, in terms of diet, obviously have to watch what you eat and have to eat healthy. Um, Gotta maintain your body and take care of it. Probably recovery now is like one of the biggest things. After training, after games, what are you doing to recover? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you
Mm,
hydrating properly? Especially for us here in the Arizona heat in the summer, like we have to
mm.
hydrate constantly, and they're doing like hydration tests and all that stuff. So um, that's very important. Um,
When you were in
but
college and even like now, what like how often do you play and how often do you work out? Like, what's like a typical week? Like, are you working out, lifting weights, or you're not? Is it more conditioning, or what do you do on that front?
um, on my own, I don't do too much because with the team, we'll do some weightlifting, we'll do
Mm,
some fitness stuff in the training sessions. Um, Probably do more stretching on my own and
mm,
stuff like that. As you get older, you tend to pick up in different injuries and like
mm,
maybe some muscle strain. So you have to do a lot of stretching and stuff like that to take care of your body. But there are people I know. I have a few teammates who like do some gym work on the side, and but
mm,
I'm not someone who likes to like do a lot of heavy lifting, especially during the middle of the season and with all
mm.
the minutes I play. Like
Yeah,
I gotta watch my body and try not to do too much, not to
yeah, like
overdo it.
that balance of
Yeah.
strengthening yourself, but also not wearing
Sorry, my
yourself out before a
cat's
game.
trying
Oh,
to
you're
join the
good.
podcast.
Yeah, I like it. Perfect. What's your cat's name?
Her name's Pippa.
Okay, nice, nice.
Yeah.
What like what is it? You said kind of a warm down. What's your if you were a high school kid, like what would be your kind of tell them how to have their day and their cool down and like recovery? Like what would you do or tell them to do?
Um, so say if it was a game day, uh oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
You're good. People can do
If it
whatever
was a
she
game
wants.
day, if it was a game day, obviously make sure you eat the right foods. For myself, um, I don't try to eat too much and don't try to eat just try to eat like very simple foods like pasta and chicken and maybe a little
Mm,
bit of sauce. As like my pregame meal, drinking a lot of water, drinking a lot of electrolytes. Um, to prepare yourself for the match and after the game. Um, it doesn't really matter what you eat, like especially if you play a lot of minutes with all the running a player
mm,
does. Like after the game, you just have to get food in your body and try to recover there. And um, obviously, protein shakes and stuff like that very important.
mm,
Um, ice baths are like very important for us. We have like a cold tub that after every training
mm,
session, a lot of us are using and try to recover as quickly as we can because we have games midweek or the following week, and we just have to
mm.
do our best to recover and try to prevent injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy how like just stretching has come such a long like we're 15 years of age apart or something like that. It's like back then it's like you kind of stretched. Now it's like I'm an idiot for not making that a massive part of everything. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy how much the sports science of that kind of stuff has
yeah,
come
it
along.
really does make a huge difference.
Hmm.
Because like I said, I've had a lot of muscle strains, like especially with my hamstrings. So I have to stay on
Hmm.
top of that, make sure I'm all warmed up and stretch out as much as I can. Because
Hmm.
yeah, especially once you're a professional, like it's a very long season and you play a lot of minutes and do a lot of running. So yeah, you really have to take care of your body.
Hmm. Yeah, well, thanks, man. I think this has been awesome and such good insight. I would love to ask you more questions, but it's already been almost an hour and a half, and I could go on literally for another hour with you, and I feel bad.
uh,
But the story, I think the coolest story in American sports, like if you were a football player, like American football, or a basketball player, it would be front page news everywhere. Obviously, soccer doesn't get all the love that it should. I'm also gonna write a stern word to Apple. So I've got like a pretty new MacBook, and like I'm not used to being the super ugly one in a podcast. And I noticed my MacBook is 720p and yours is like 1080p, and it's like pretty new. So not only like I look like shit and you look tremendous. I've been
nah,
adjusting my lights, everyone. Like,
you're
what's going on here? And I see he's got a better like this isn't helping me at all. Like I'm supposed to be the good looking host and I'm just getting trolled by my
nah,
guests.
you're
This
being too kind. You're being too kind.
Ronaldo USA 2.0. But thank you so much, man, and I hope you do the England thing or the MLS thing. I watch your career nonstop because, like I said, I think it's such a cool story. So thanks for
Yeah,
coming
nah,
on.
nah. I appreciate you having me on. I really enjoyed the chat, and hopefully we could have another episode.
Yeah,
You know, another
yeah,
conversation. We could
absolutely.
talk about whatever.
Yeah, you have to remember this podcast when you're like in the EPL. I'm like, no, you have to come on. I'm sorry, like I've talked to you before all these other people.
I'll talk to you still.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
Thank you, man.
thanks, bro.